Welcome to Positively Muskegon. It's Andy O'Reilly, and today I am at the home of Corrie and Chris Zatalokin. Or do you go Chris and Corrie? Is it traditional, or is it, you never know these days?
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah. Down over here is Riddick, and I met Corrie. Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I came out to speak at a neighborhood gathering that Corrie had going on. There was some kids about better choices, and why they keep coming to me about better choices, I have no idea. But I came out and we talked a little bit with Health West and things like that, and I got to meet Riddick here and learn a little bit about Riddick, and I got kind of curious about this. Is it a disease? Is it a disorder?
It's a syndrome.
It's a syndrome. All right. So, one of the things that I like to use the Positively Muskegon platform for is to learn about kids that have different challenges, if you will. So, first off, thank you for taking I mean, it's tough to talk about these things especially when it's your kid.
Yeah.
So, first off, tell me the acronym of what we've got going on here with Riddick. What's it?
So SLOS is
SLOS. Okay.
is the letters of the doctor's names, anyways, that made about of it all.
He ain't gonna stick around.
No. He can
All right, Riddick, you can take off,
bye.
man. See ya.
Love you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's Smith-Lemley-Opitz.
Okay.
And those were the doctors that found out about it. It's acronym to SLOS or SLOS.
Close.
It's very rare. 1 in 60,000.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 1 in 60,000 kids are afflicted with this.
Mhm.
Tell me the symptoms.
So really the symptoms are extremely variable. They can go from very, very mild to very, very severe.
Sure.
You know, and really it's about his cholesterol. So his body doesn't naturally produce cholesterol, which affects every single organ in your body.
Okay.
It's extremely important. So whether it be a heart condition, a developmental brain condition, a growth condition, kids can have just such a variety of
Kidneys,
issues.
livers,
all your
behavioral,
organs.
everything.
The whole thing, and it's
The
cholesterol.
whole thing. It's cholesterol. You need every organ, every cell in your body needs cholesterol.
Okay.
It basically lubricates everything in your body
All
to
right.
make it run smoothly, and his body doesn't produce it, so it doesn't do that.
Okay. So, what are the first signs of this? I mean, you have a kid, you know, and you've got a couple other ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
So
have 3 others.
you got 3 other ones. So
Yeah.
you know, it's not
So-
like. I mean, this is an anomaly.
Right.
Yeah.
How this pops up. It's a genetic DNA type
Right.
thing, and all that other
Yeah.
stuff.
A
So-
mutation of a recessive gene. So Chris and I are both carriers.
Yeah.
We did not know until Riddick was about 48 hours old.
It took that quick of a diagnosis.
Actually, from what I've heard, it's pretty rare
Okay.
to find out that quickly. Yeah.
So what are the first signs? I mean, how
But,
do
so
you?
yeah, in the hospital, you know, our main thing was he was a little on the smaller side, but that wasn't too concerning.
Sure.
But he wasn't able to swallow. That swallow
Sure.
reflex wasn't
And that's
there.
really the only thing is,
So-
as I remember, back to biology.
Mhm.
That's the only thing humans are born with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so he wasn't able to do that.
So the reflex issue wasn't quite there, so that's where the initial tests started coming along. So you know, we're trying to almost force feed him with a bottle,
Right.
and it's hard for him to swallow and not take in a bunch of air. So even with small little amounts, he's again vomiting. You know,
Sure.
and it's, as a parent, you know, seeing that and
Pretty scary
trying to
stuff.
deal with
Yeah,
it.
he was in the hospital for 10 days,
Yep.
and he came home with a tube from his nose down his throat into his stomach.
Oh,
He also had GERD, like a really bad acid reflux,
Sure.
and the tube didn't help. So there
Nope.
was a lot of regurgitation when he was little. He spent about 6 months sleeping upright
did he
in
really?
a swing. Chris and I would take shifts.
Sure.
It was
Yeah.
the first year was rough. Anyone that has a SLOS kid will tell you the first year is probably the roughest year of your life. You don't know how you're going to get through it. There's so many tests, so many doctors, specialists, anything and everything that can happen. Will, we were in and out of DeVos multiple times
Yeah.
the first year.
Scary stuff.
Mhm.
How does it, as a couple, talk about the impact on you guys?
Yeah, so I would say our first rule we made was not to have disagreements when he's sick. That was kind of our first thing, was if he
Start
was
off by
ever
not
sick
killing each
or-
other.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
you know,
tired.
it takes so much energy that,
Yeah.
Sure.
that it ultimately just came down to one of us saying, you know, he's sick right now, or let's just focus on him. Because, you know, we would literally be maybe sleeping 4 hours a day, day
Yeah.
after day after day. So
If that.
if that.
There were the first year there were many days that I would go 3 days at a time without sleep,
Oh.
and I would slur my words, forget my name. It would be bad.
So where are we now? How old is he now?
He's 3.5.
3.5, okay.
He is absolutely amazing. Most doctors said he wouldn't walk, talk, eat, or drink.
Right.
We go to the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. And I have to say that was my favorite visit ever because we met Dr. Porter, who is a founding researcher for SLOS. And he took one look at Riddick and said, no, he'll walk, he'll talk, he'll eat, he'll drink. And I cried so hard. This was 2.5 years ago, and I cried so hard. I was so excited. He said he wouldn't probably do any of it till he was 5.
Okay.
And so here we are at 3.5.
Yeah.
He's obviously running around like
He's
crazy.
running around, I'll tell you what. He's behind the camera right now. He's actually our new cameraman. We just hired him.
He climbs on everything. He climbs stairs. He's going to climb into the school bus by himself this year like a big boy.
Yeah.
He eats crackers.
Oh, no, don't move the camera, buddy.
Don't touch.
Come here.
He's okay. I just do. We haven't trained him on that part of the camera yet. He's hired. We just got to get him trained. That's all.
He started drinking out of a straw.
Yeah.
Which was huge.
Right.
So he takes most of his feeds orally. He does have a G tube.
Yeah.
Hi.
Anyone's mom.
Always. He does have a G tube here.
Yeah. So he's got a little feeding tube.
Yep, that's mostly for hydration or if he gets sick.
Okay.
Honey. So we are working on all solids. And are you smiling? And he does sign somewhat, and he has a couple words that he says.
So he's working on words. He's working on communications and all this kind of stuff.
Speech therapy. We started speech therapy 2 weeks ago.
So tell me how you felt. I mean, you know, the doctor said he's going to be able to do all this kind of stuff and all that. That's going to be great. Did you feel like something bigger was going on? Like a little miracle was going to happen here?
I always felt like I've always been the optimistic one. I can always see he's extremely smart. He's extremely cute to any little thing. He will notice the smallest little things and pick up on them or figure them out. So I've always felt like he could do it all. He will be able to do it all. But it's always nice as a family to hear reassurance. Like, he really is one of the best SLOS kids developmentally and physically. He's really very mild on the spectrum, so it's been nice and reassuring there. It's also been nice and reassuring that every little thing he does do is it's its own little miracle in and of itself.
Yeah,
so.
it's a big deal. Where does it stand in research and all that? I mean, nationally. I mean, where are we on all this? Is there still a big question mark on everything?
Everything is always a question mark. There's so much that's still out there to learn. It's one of the big reasons that we go to NIH.
Sure.
He's in a lifelong study there. We go once a year. They take blood work and they ask me how his past year has been, and they do little evaluations just to keep track of him and see where he progresses and all that stuff. With all the changes and everything that are being made to government, it's getting funding cut is scary. I mean, for us, it's a truth,
Sure.
It's not something that you can just bypass and ignore. Healthcare cuts, those are scary for us.
Scary stuff for everybody.
He is in and out of the hospital. His medication already isn't covered by insurance.
Okay.
Because he has a synthetic cholesterol, and insurance counts it as a supplement.
Really?
It is a food grade supplement, not a medication. So it's not covered. But obviously without that he wouldn't survive.
Do you do benefits locally? Do you do how does it work for you guys?
We do. I did a little fundraiser on Facebook.
Okay.
To get him an iPad and a communication app.
I remember that.
So that was really fun. And
I would say our biggest source of financial security is me being able to fix everything.
Right?
yeah. The jack of all trades, handyman.
Well, I know who to call next time,
Yes.
right? Next time something goes, because I can't turn a screw, to be honest with you.
We are probably going to put together a couple other fundraisers.
Sure.
There's a conference every other year that we like to try to go to.
Sure.
It's a good weekend. They have scientists and researchers come and talk about the SLOS and everything that's new. But I think the best part about it is that, for one, you can bring your kids somewhere where they're not judged.
Yep.
Every other kid there is just like him.
Sure.
If he's screaming his head off at 6 o'clock at night because his chicken nugget is turned the wrong way on his plate, it's okay because somebody else's kid is doing it too.
I do that.
Yeah. You know, if he's running up and down the hallway, just going crazy, it's
Being
okay.
a kid.
And it's nice to, you know, meet up with other parents because it's so rare. We're all spread apart, and it's amazing to meet up with other parents that go through what you go through every day.
And you're not alone.
Yeah.
So that support's a big thing too.
Living here, it can be hard. I spent a lot of time feeling like I was alone.
Yeah.
Like nobody understood it. You know, I mean, it's hard to feel like you're not the only person when you don't have anybody around you whose kid has the same thing as you.
Do you find what you need support group wise from other families that might not have SLOS with kids around town? Do you find, you know, with unique conditions and things like that, that there are groups that you can reach out to?
I'm getting more involved in things like working
well, I mean,
with.
you've had 3 years. I mean, what are you waiting for? It's not like you got anything else to do.
Right. No, I secluded myself for a long time with him. I put a lot of effort into teaching him things. I worked with him. You know, after we had him, I quit my job and I stayed at home with him, and I put pretty much everything I had every day into getting him to walk, getting him to talk, getting him to eat. I mean, it was a struggle, but I did it. There were days that Chris would come home and I would be on the floor in tears because he just refused to do anything that day. Sure. But then there were days that Chris would come home and I'd be like, look, he's walking. Look, he ate a cracker. It's the best day ever. Yep. Our kids are his biggest cheerleaders too. It's amazing, and they're so helpful. And
that's awesome.
You know, little 5-year-old Zane loves to help out with tube feeds, and my 10-year-old taught my dad how to do tube feeds.
Really?
And yes.
Wow. Well, let's keep an eye on him. I mean, let us know how it goes, and if you get around to fundraisers and things like that. I mean, this guy looks like a little miracle walking to me. He's certainly a fun little guy.
Yeah.
And to know that you guys give a chance to tell your story and talk a little bit about what's going on here. One, I think it gives hope to other people. You know, we talked at our thing a couple weeks ago that, you know, we had a granddaughter that came out with some question marks in her life. Yeah. And, you know, as she grew and she progressed, got to the point where she was supposed to be rolling over by herself and starting to crawl and things, and we were all kind of wondering, you know, what's next? And I was like you. Yeah. I said, you know what? Things will be fine. And, you know, she's got, they only know of one other little girl in the whole world that's got what she's got. But this last winter, she ice skated.
Yeah.
And awesome. for a kid that was told, we were told probably never going to walk.
Yeah.
Here she is on ice skates, and it's like, miracles happen.
Yeah.
So.
He does have his own Facebook page.
Does he?
Yes, you can find it if you search Riddick.
We'll find it. We'll link it.
Riddick's SLOS story. So, yeah.
Put it right up there.
All right.
Follow this guy, follow this family. Great things happen in Muskegon. It's not always some huge event. It's not always some big thing to do. It's people making a difference and taking what they're dealt and making a difference for others. You guys are awesome. Stay in touch.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your story. I know it's kind of scary when somebody shows up with a camera and it's like, hey, tell us your whole life. Tell us about this kid. But this is how things happen, and you guys are awesome. So thanks for sharing.
I appreciate you coming.
We'll put the links all right here on Positively Muskegon. Cheer this kid on, this Riddick guy. I think you're going to see big things over time. All those links are right here on Positively Muskegon.